Hi, we're back again. We're now on the third box. I've shown you the Book of Tricks box. We've shown you the AC6 box. This is now the mini box, which looks something like that. It has calendar mottos in the inside of it. Calendar mottos like, those who discourage your dreams have likely abandoned their own. To be great is to be misunderstood. I'm not lost, I'm locationally challenged. I like that. It's like saying I haven't lost my glasses, they're temporarily misplaced. And an hour later I find them. I digress as usual. Right, this is the small box, which is going to be this idea here. This is a template for the mini box. The dimensions for this, 13.5 by 9.5. And before everybody goes, oh, I can't do measurements, a lot of people feel that way. We have them in inches as well, 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And I would say persevere with a template, because once you've done that part, that's the hardest part done. After that, that's your pattern, that's your template, just to go from there. So I've taken a piece of card. These cards here are in the designer pack cards, these ones there, and they've got lovely fronts and they've got equally nice backs, and I found that I could make little boxes by using the designer cards, where at one point I felt I bought these and didn't use them. Probably other people have felt the same way. So taking one of the templates, I cut out 2 pieces of card. You then take the framey board. Now the reason I'm using the framey board is I'm looking for lines on a board that are specific sizes. The box in the centre has got to be 7 centimetres by 3 centimetres, and it has to have a 3 centimetre height border, which I can't get on the illusion board because that is only 2.5, and that is not high enough for the motto cards to stand up. There's the height of the motto card. So the motto card has got to be that height. So, not to be outdone, I thought there has to be a way of getting some kind of board that's going to work it, and I came across the framey board. I think Alice found the framey board first of all, didn't you?
I think so.
I think so. We'll give Alice the credit.
Yes.
You take the framey board and you butt it in the top corners to there, and you take that line, the second one in, and you score down it, down there. You have to turn your card, which is the disadvantage with these boards. You have to do the turning. The illusion board doesn't turn. Down for that one until you've done the 4 sides. That is your base. Ignore the other lines at the moment. I'm just concentrating at this point on these ones. The base, remember, has to have a smidgen off, and if you remember, the Scots smidgen is
2 millimetres.
About that. That is a smidgen. So that has to come off the base, or you'll end up having beautiful lids and no bases to put them on. You then take the top of the card and you do exactly the same thing. You're doing your 4 score lines, but then after that you're going to move to the other side of the framey board and you're going to butt it against that line there and make a second score line. Now at this point you're probably going, right, the reason for that is, if you look at one of the boxes, that one, the lid does not go right down to the bottom. Val has made a stunning box and her lid does go down to the bottom. This is an option. Our preference for the motto boxes is to take this edge part off. So you do your score line down there, you turn it and you do your score line again, and you do that all the way round, and that is the bit that gets trimmed off. So you trim off all these edges. I'll just do the other side while I'm here. You trim off all the edges, and when you're finished, you're left with a lid that is that size. Now that size of lid I have pre-cut because we could be here all day otherwise. So there is your lid, and that gets assembled exactly the same way as the C6 box, the other boxes, Book of Tricks. You may have your own style. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. You will have your own way of doing your corners. These are ones I like. Alice does hers a different way. I think Val does hers a different way as well. And Val had her box yesterday, so I just asked if I could pinch it for this morning. And while I was at it, I asked Mary if I could please borrow her illusion board, and she very kindly lent me that as well. So we have these to return to our other crafty friends. So with the lid in place, that's the lid done. You're doing exactly the same with the base. It really just almost folds up in itself when you're doing the base, like so. Now at this point I'm not gluing anything. What I'm really doing is testing it. Because sometimes, because you're working on such a tiny box, we're talking millimetres, and if you are a few millimetres out, your box won't fit. So the secret is to put them in place first to get an idea of whether they're going to fit. Now that looks as if it will be okay. So you would then undo it, glue it, and put it permanently in place when it's ready. You can decorate the top with ribbons and bows, or you can use very pretty paper which doesn't require any fancy ribbons. That's the small one that the mottos go in. Briefly, so I don't bore you, this is wonderful card for boxes, but it comes apart. If you're going to use shiny card, don't use PVA, use the tacky glue. The tacky glue was here a minute ago, but I think it's just been found. Thank you, Alice. The tacky glue has got to be stronger for using on shiny boxes. It just completely falls apart otherwise. Also, the PVA leaves finger marks, it leaves crease marks where it has been. So that's just a tip. I did have a very pretty box. There was the lid. And there was the base, but the base fell apart. This is so that you don't make the same mistakes as I do, because I can make lots of mistakes. Another little quick tip. You also glued that and let it dry before using the lid. Oh yes, yes. This will be... You tweaked the lid after the base was dry? Yes, you have to have the base dry. I'm forgetting to say that when you've got that glued and the paper clips are out, you can leave this slightly damp just so you can manoeuvre it where you want it to be. If you have a faulty piece of card that's got lines on it, you think, I can't use that piece of card, make a box out of it. A little box, a medium box, a Book of Tricks box, and use the lines and the mistakes on it and camouflage it with ribbon. These are the boxes for this session. I hope the tips have been helpful. I hope you remember my best tip of taking a paper clip and wiggling down inside it if it gets stuck with glue. Hope it's helpful. Hope you enjoy it. And I hope you like our new t-shirts. And I shall say bye for now. And thanks for watching the video. See you soon. Bye. A little bit I forgot to mention, and this is actually quite fun part, and I'm disappointed I forgot. This template here, when you trim it down for your lid, you're left with a lid that size. Now if you use that as another template, you can use the matte stacks, the glitter stacks, and all the other stacks, and you will get two lids. If you look there, you will get two lids easily out of the matte stacks, and use plain card for the base, and that's just an extra fancy box for you to try. Hope you're successful. Bye.